Next man up, the man who, if you were bold enough to start him, saved your fantasy season, or although if you were starting Bryce Young, it probably wasn't in a position to be saved to begin with. But yes, the Carolina Panthers' former number one overall pick, third-year starter, man who comes alive against the Atlanta Falcons, 448 yards, 3 passing touchdowns. Bryce Young. We're going to take Bryce Young. We're going to stack him up against some other guys you might be plucking off the waiver wire for help in week 12. And let's start with a guy who might be getting a little extended run as usual because he's Mike Tomlin's backup Huckleberry, Mason Rudolph. Josh, would you roll the dice with a Mason Rudolph explosion, or are you betting Bryce Young can be even half as good as he was in week 11 going forward?
Oh, man. I guess I'll roll with Bryce Young here simply because the Steelers don't have a receiver as talented as Ted McMillan. Yeah. Kind of cover up those warts from Bryce Young. So I do think that was the best game Young and for all intents and purposes, McMillan as well is going to have this season. But I'd rather chase that upside than Mason Rudolph. We already know what Mason Rudolph is. And we already know what an Arthur Smith offense looks like. So I don't like either one of those things. So I'm just going to roll with the unknown and a potential Bryce Young revival for the last third of the season. And I'll just cross my fingers and hope it works out.
Yeah, these are 3 no-win situations we're dealing with here. Because, again, our fulcrum is Bryce Young.
Yeah.
But you talked about knowing what Mason Rudolph is. You know who else knows who he is Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin knows he's a guy you can throw downfield with some success. He knows he can move around the pocket a little bit better than Aaron Rodgers. And that means that you won't have that quick hit offense that has been so vital to the Steelers early on. Aaron Rodgers misses time, and all of a sudden, Rodgers are going to have a little bit more of an opportunity to develop. As a guy who scrambled a little bit in Tennessee last season, he could do it again behind the Steelers line, and that means DK Metcalf, frustrated, double covered, been targeted close to the line of scrimmage pretty much all season. All of a sudden, he can fly a little bit more. He can settle in under those passes. I think I want Mason Rudolph for that exact reason, because he does open up a few more pages in the Steelers playbook, even if he's going to throw a bunch of incompletions to get there.
Okay.
Next man up, we are going through the backup turned QB1 ranks with Marcus Mariota. Solid in a way that has not mattered. 213 passing yards in all of his games, or at least his last 3. So, Yash, which iffy, shaky, formerly hyped up quarterback would you want in your lineup, Bryce Young or Marcus Mariota?
Oh, boy. Bryce Young, I guess. I know. Unfortunately, I sat through that 9:30 a.m. game on Sunday for part of it, and it was gross. And Marcus Mariota was running that offense against what has been statistically one of the weakest defenses this year in the NFL, and the Miami Dolphins. I mean, pretty much everybody has a good week against the Dolphins, and the Commanders did not. So I really don't have much faith in what the Commanders are running out there. Whether it be the running game can't get going, or Mariota just can't capitalize on. Debo had a decent game, but other than that,
no Bill Trosky merit love.
No. Bill is another one. I don't know what happened there, but I think Washington just in general is cashed. So I'm just going to stay away from any of the Commanders at this point. So I'll begrudgingly take Bryce Young here once again.
I like Bryce Young because he does have some upside, but also this is a man who, when he crashes out, he crashes all the way out, like single digits from your quarterback performance. You're not going to get that from Mariota because he's going to scramble. He's going to pick up like 30 to 40 yards on the ground. He's going to throw for 200 plus with a touchdown. He's going to be steady and stable. He's going to get you like 15 to 20 points. And if you are comfortable with that, if you are okay, if you are pretty much entrenched in your playoff spot right now and you just need a fill-in for 1 week, go with Mariota. If you are throwing Hail Marys and you are betting it all on Bryce Young, well, 1, things are going terribly for you, and I'm sorry to hear that. But 2, there's a chance he's going to fulfill that. He's got a higher ceiling than Marcus Mariota. So it is definitely going to be a situational spot, but I like 80% of me is like, just give me that Mariota stability.
Yeah.
And speaking of backup quarterbacks who understand the assignment at the very least,
yes,
the new NFL record holder for most completions in a single game, beating out Jared Goff and our boy, Drew Bledsoe. Mm-hmm. Jacoby Brissett, former New England Patriot, turned Dolphin, turned Patriot again, turned Brown, turned. Colts. He's with the Arizona Cardinals now. The Colts rocked, and he threw the ball a million times. So, Yash, do you want Bryce Young? Do you want Jacoby Brissett in Arizona?
Give me the journeyman Brissett here. He's been holding his own in Arizona for the most part. He's got some great weapons to throw. I mean, you've got Trey McBride, who is just a absolute monster. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. when he returns, and apparently they don't even need him because Michael Wilson apparently just morphs into Marvin Harrison Jr. when given the opportunity. So,
see, I don't think you can say that because Michael Wilson actually delivered on his promise while we're still waiting on Maserati Marv to do something.
Marv's looked pretty good with Jacoby out there. I mean, when at least he can see him over his lineman. To at least
fair enough. Yeah,
at some point. So in this particular case, I'll just go with Brissett here. He's put together a string of usable games. So if you need somebody, I'd rather just take the chance for Brissett. He's got I'd say a higher floor and dare we say a higher ceiling as well. So it's possible, but I'd roll the dice with him.
I agree on both counts there. And the situation benefits Jacoby Brissett as well because his run game has been shredded by injuries and ineffective. He's trailing often, so he's throwing the ball a ton. And he's competent. And in those situations, you're not asking him to be a fourth quarter hero because that's not who Jacoby Brissett is. You get him in a game-winning situation, he is going to crumble like a breadstick skyscraper. So this is a guy who can go out there and put up those Blake Bortles empty stats, which, it doesn't mean anything for the Cardinals, but for fantasy, hell yeah, go out, get Jacoby Brissett. I mean, he's clearly the best option among all these guys. He's probably a better, safer option than a guy like Trevor Lawrence or maybe even a Sam Darnold right now.